Good afternoon, everybody. Rector Arundel here with another video on September 3rd, 2019. Today is Tuesday. Yes. And today's video is kind of unplanned, but still good in my opinion. So yesterday, I did a planche work, or I'm sorry, no, a cable pull-apart workout, working on my traps, working on my lats, and what's the other word? Da-da-da-da. I said obliques yesterday, and that was a mistake. It was the rhomboids. There you go. Yes, rhomboids, traps, and posterior deltoids, etc. The back. Today I'm not very sore, but I'm kind of weak, which is just as good, really. Your body's telling you, hey, you did a good job. So there you go. Today's video is not necessarily about physical working out. It's about the goal, which is enlightenment. And I want to talk about meditation. As you will know if you have watched my videos, I have made a pact with myself and with everyone else who's watching the video and the universe, a 33-day pact of doing breatharian exercises every morning, at least every morning, maybe more than that during the day. Not eating solid food and not wasting seed, basically brahmacharyamism, which means not ejaculating, as a man anyway. So, today is the 6th day. I have not cheated, not once. Everything that I promised I would do, I have upheld. So, let's talk about what I have noticed because of that. First of all, my wife has made some wonderful food for me as far as soups. And that really has satisfied my hunger craving 100%, even more so. I actually feel really quite full a lot of the time. So even though I'm not eating solid foods, I'm eating what you would call a puree mix of soups. And I feel so full that I'm actually going to fast for a while. And I'm telling you this because today I'm not eating really any food. I feel so full that I'm not really hungry, so I'm not going to eat today. We'll see how tomorrow goes. I'm not working tomorrow or the day after, so I might even dry fast to tomorrow and the day after. We'll just see how it goes. So that's kind of big for me, not big for anyone else, but you are your universe, so big for you is all that matters, really, if you think about it. Okay, so I want to talk about meditation today. When it comes to my meditations slash breatharian exercises in the mornings, I've changed them slightly. What I did is I started recording some wonderful guidelines slash practices for myself so I could listen to it without having to think, because the goal is to think as little as possible, to do the practices and focus on the practices without thinking about them. So I recorded these practices on how to clear the four bodies: the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual bodies of all the different. Clear them all. They all have their own aspects. For example, the spiritual body, you want to charge it up. The mental body, you want to clear the thoughts. The emotional body, you want to clear the emotions. Physical body, you want to clear all the stresses and the physical abuses. So basically, my self-guided meditation, we clear the four bodies, and you basically allow yourself to connect with Source as much as possible. So in doing so, over the last 2 days or 3 days, I lose count, I have been doing these meditations, these practices every morning, and I have realized that meditating afterward is ideal, because really what you do is set yourself up for the perfect meditation scenario. Now, a lot of gurus out there will tell you different exercises to prepare your body for meditation. They'll tell you to flex all your muscles and relax them. They'll tell you to eat certain foods. They'll tell you all kinds of practices that are all based around the same factors of relaxing your physical body and as well as your other bodies enough to meditate properly. Now, I'm pretty sure that I've made it fairly clear that one of my favorite books of all time at this point is the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And that hasn't changed. That book is amazing. And in that book, he talks about a lot of amazing things. But first of all, he talks about building up to true meditation. Before you meet true meditation, you have a certain point of where you are attempting to meditate. And that means you are focusing on one thing and your mind goes something else, you bring it back. Your mind goes something else, you bring it back over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I should look it up, but I'll do it another time. But right now, from memory, it means it's called dharana. So your body might be one reason why you focus on one thing and it gets distracted and comes back. Your memories might be one thing that distracts you and it comes back. Your emotions might be one thing that distracts you and it comes back. There's lots of reasons why your mind, your concentration might not be perfect, because true meditation is perfect concentration. It's kind of like they use the analogy of pouring oil from one container to another container. It's a continuous stream of thought from one container to another container. So when you are truly meditating, you are thinking solely and purely on one thing only. And like I said, the oil is flowing from one container to another without any breaks, just pure one stream that's seamless. So that is true meditation. And when you are meditating like that, there is no time. There is no thought besides the one thing you're focusing on. There is no body. You transcend your physical body because you are focusing so much that you don't even realize you have a physical body anymore. And that is true samadhi. Before you attain samadhi, you have the precursor to it, which I already described, which is, again, I need to look it up to make sure, but I think it's dharana. So you're focusing on one thing and you're not ready yet to be completely focused, so you get distracted and you bring it back, and you get distracted, you bring it back. But that is the precursor, and that's the first step. And all yoga comes from that precursor, teaching yourself to become more able to focus wholeheartedly, physically, everything on one thought. Now, different gurus tell you different ways to meditate, and there's a lot of questions out there about what's the proper way to meditate. So today, I'm going to share with you what I'm doing. I'm going to share with you why. So first of all, according to the book I share with you, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which is right here, he will tell you that you should never, ever, ever, ever judge anyone else's method of meditation, because all meditation leads to the same goal. All roads lead to enlightenment. It doesn't matter if you even want to be enlightened or not, you're going to be, because that is evolution. And evolution infers that you're going to get there whether you want to or not. It might not be this lifetime, but it's going to happen. So, essentially, he says that there is no perfect thing to meditate on. But, depending on which branch of religion or spirituality you latch onto, that can change. So I'm going to tell you what I am meditating on, and that's for one sole purpose. So in the book, he tells you that anything is good. You can meditate on something like fire. You can meditate on something like the sun or the moon or something large, because meditating on something large actually steadies your posture. And that's one of the 8 limbs of yoga, is your posture, your ability to stay still. And of course, we talked about this. That comes down to your ability to expend as little energy as possible. When you are moving the body as little as possible, you're focusing less on the body and you're focusing more on the spirit. I don't want to say mind because the mind is part of the body. We're going beyond the mind. We're transcending the mind. And the mind is part of the body, so transcending the body helps you transcend the mind. So meditating on something large does help you to move less. It helps you to focus more on spirit, the Purusa, the Paramatma, whatever you want to say. So, according to Sri Swami Satchidananda, who wrote the book, he says it's much, much, much easier to focus on solid things first and then slowly move to subtle things later, because we all know solid things in our day-to-day life. You can focus on a flower, and once you focus on a flower purely, like that oil from one container to another, a solely pure, solid thought about that one thing only, you actually develop powers. You understand that object wholly and completely. And he kind of compares it to being in love. When you're in love with somebody, you think of nothing else but that person all day long. You're distracted, as it were. No matter if you're in class or not, it doesn't matter, because you are thinking only about this other person when you should be thinking about science, etc., or chemistry, whatever. So, something else just came in my mind, and I want to talk about it too. So let's see if I can combine the two. When you are focusing on one thing wholeheartedly with all of your being, meaning your entire being, all of your cells, all of your energy, everything else goes away. All of your senses go away. You know, we have 5 senses plus the mind, so 6 senses according to Hinduism. So once you're focused everything on one thing, all of your senses go away. And this is one form of sense control. Sense control is another one of the 8 limbs of yoga. So, getting back to what I mean, you're focusing on one thing, and you can do subtle, which is abstract, or you can do solid. If you are not very far advanced in meditation, it's very, very hard to do subtle. It's hard for a lot of people to imagine something in their mind. It's much easier for them to look at something solid. So, Satchidananda recommends at the beginning of meditation, look at something that you can literally hold in your hands, maybe even smell, maybe even taste, but definitely see, like a picture of a flower, or a picture of a flame, or a picture of something else. Any object is fine, because the object of meditation is not the goal. The object is a means to an end. You are in the goal of stabilizing your concentration, focusing all of your being on one object. And once you have attained that ability, then you transcend the object. It's kind of like climbing up a ladder. You don't take the ladder with you once you climb up it, you just leave it and go. There are other analogies which I can talk more about if you have questions, but essentially that's the whole goal. You learn how to concentrate on one thing, and according to Patanjali, solid objects are easier. That's why pranayama is so popular, because it's much easier to control the prana through your breathing versus controlling the prana through your thoughts. Prana is part of breath. So if you can control how fast you breathe, you automatically control how fast you think. So pranayama is great. I personally don't do pranayama at this point, besides just energizing my 4 bodies, because I find that it distracts you from my goal of meditation, which I'm going to go over next. So all of this conversation has come to the point, how I meditate. Yogananda has what you call energization exercises. He has several exercises to fully charge your body, and he doesn't actually talk about the 4 bodies. He doesn't talk about physical versus spiritual versus emotional versus what did I miss? Mind. Yeah, he doesn't talk about those. But he does tell you to exercise your body before you meditate. And I'm not going to go over these exercises because I don't like them. I have tried them, and it takes about 15 minutes to do them, and I really despise them. In fact, they are not my path, which is why I did join the Self-Realization Fellowship, and I learned a lot of great things, and then I left because it did not vibrate with me. So I found another guru, which is now my guru, and I went through my Saktipat or Kundalini activation, etc. So this other guru is wonderful, and some of the teachings correspond with Yogananda, and that's why this video has come about. So let's talk about how I meditate. I energize my 4 energy bodies, physical, emotional, spiritual, and thought. And then by the time I'm done doing that, my whole being is completely relaxed. And you have to be relaxed. You have to have no fear, no stress in your body before you can actually let your mind focus enough on one thing. So once I do that, then I start my actual meditation. So once again, before you can actually meditate, you are teaching your mind to focus. You're focusing on one thing and you get distracted, you bring it back. You're focusing on one thing and you get distracted and you bring it back. But once you do these things, that's why the energization exercises were helpful for Yogananda. It helped him to be concentrated. That's why the breatharian exercises help me to be concentrated, because after I do these exercises, I can actually stay focused on my one object the whole time. And when that happens, you transcend time and you transcend your body. So you're focusing on one thing and you forget how long you're meditating. If you are sitting there for 5 minutes and you're going, oh my gosh, it's only been 5 minutes, you're not meditating yet. You are practicing the ability to focus. Once you actually meditate, you have come to the point where you have transcended time because you're focusing on one thing. You kind of mix with that thing, you become that thing, and I can talk all about that. If you want to know, let me know and I'll give you another video. But time has no meaning. You will sit there and you'll meditate and you'll be focusing on this one thing, and all of a sudden your alarm will go off, and you go, whoa, it's been an hour? There's no way it's been an hour. But it has, because time does not exist when you are meditating properly. Until that happens, you're not meditating properly. You are practicing to be able to meditate properly. So, Yogananda recommends focusing on your third eye, right here. Some people say it's between your eyebrows. Some people say it's above your eyebrows. I honestly think it's individually different. I think that when your third eye activates, you will feel it and you'll know where it is. So don't put too much pressure on it yet. He says, Yogananda, he says, close your eyes and look up, and don't strain, don't cross your eyes, just close your eyes and look up. And there are various different teachers who tell you to look like up here, or look above your head, or look here. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you activate the area here and inside your brain. If you can change your breathing, change your gaze to make your energy in your head feel activated, that is it. That's it. It's really hard to describe in words because we don't have that vocabulary in English. But essentially, the cave of Brahma in the center of your brain is what you're trying to activate. And depending on which folklore or belief system you have, the center of your forehead is an access point. Your temples over here and over there are access points. Your crown chakra, top of your head, access point, as well as the base of your neck. I can't really hold the phone to show you. Base of your neck. So Yogananda says that when you close your eyes and look up and focus on your third eye, you are actually activating the sensor in the back of your neck. And that is, according to him, your access point to God / eternity. So God comes through the top of your head, your crown, and it goes through your base of your neck into your body. So, everyone has different belief systems as to why it works, etc. But the point is, when you're meditating, you close your eyes, you look up, and you meditate on any object of your choice. The subtle objects are more difficult to focus on than the solid objects, because solid objects you know already, subtle you have to believe in. So I have chosen to believe in the subtle objects just because I think that it makes sense that all these different teachings all say the same thing. Close your eyes, look up, and focus on the third eye. So when I meditate, I do my energization exercises, not the ones that Yogananda recommends, but the breatharian ones that I've learned, because they make me feel very relaxed and pure and full of chills and kundalini. And then I can focus wholeheartedly on the one goal, which is whatever object you choose. So I choose my third eye for various reasons. One, because my brother says that is the one he used. Yogananda says that's the right one. The guru that initiated me says that's the right one. So there's a lot of correlation as to maybe this is the one to focus on versus any other chakra. So I do the breatharian exercises and I begin meditating on the third eye. Now, when it comes to the third eye, there are a couple things that Yogananda says that I'm going to share with you. First of all, he says, imagine a blue circle, just a blue circle. Now, I did not know what size to imagine. We all want to know specifics when it comes to new practices, right? We all want to know the exact way. And I would say that don't think about it. I could tell you how large it was in my mind, but if it's not the same size in your mind, you might think you're doing it wrong because I told you it was this size. So if you want to know what size it looks in my mind, I'll tell you. But ultimately, it's a big, like a maroon blue circle. It's very dark blue. And around it is a yellowish white glow. It's almost like an eclipse. You have the sun behind the moon, and that's the glow behind it. And in the center of the blue orb, you have a star. Now, historically speaking, is literally a 5-pointed star. Now, me being at the beginning of my practice, I have not seen a 5-pointed star, but what I have seen absolutely clearly is a big blue orb with a glow around it and a white glow in the center. So I think I'm on the right path. Now, additionally, when I start to see that, I am listening in my ears, but also in a deeper place behind what's going on physically. I'm listening to the Om sound or the Om sound. The Om or Om sound is kind of like a ringing. It's like a ooh. It's really hard to describe. But anytime you meditate truly, when you come out of meditation, that is the sound that you hear before you come out. So if anyone wonders what the real Om sound is, it's the sound that you hear when you're in complete peace and stillness. It's the creation sound. It's the sound of the universe when you're not distracted by mind and other things. So when I'm looking at this third eye image, the blue orb with the glow around it and the light dot in the middle, I'm also listening to the sound going on. And I also do chant the mantra that was given to me. Once again, I promise that if anyone asks me about the mantra, I will tell you, because I don't really believe in secrets, but the only downside is that you can have drastic spiritual changes that are sometimes scary if you start chanting this mantra. So I can tell you it with a warning that you might have some life-changing events that you're not ready for. Okay, so if you are focusing wholeheartedly with your entire being on this one object, and it can be any object of your choice, but I have been convinced that focusing on the third eye is the best object. For one, because it is subtle, and being focused on a subtle object is closer to the goal than being focused on a solid object. And also because the guru that initiated me said that's what you should focus on, and also Yogananda said that's what you should focus on, and my brother, who may or may not have the enlightenment thing figured out, also said focusing on your third eye. So there are a lot of things that say focus on your third eye to build energy there. So that's what I do when I meditate. Meditation, however, is not easy. I've mentioned previously, and I'll say it again, meditation is a byproduct of the other 8 limbs of yoga. When you follow the 8 limbs of yoga, you become meditative in nature, which means you stop being so scatterbrained. So that's why I meditate specifically after I do my breatharian exercises, and that's why Yogananda has his energization exercises, which I don't really enjoy. So, different techniques for the same goal. Every path leads to the same destination. I really hope this video has been interesting and useful for you. This is what I'm doing right now, and I find it to be really wonderful. I really, really do. I don't like doing these exercises. I don't like incorporating this into my daily life, but that is why I did this 33-day pact. Today is the 6th day, and I fully intend to do the whole 33 days because I think that it's going to absolutely be beneficial in the long term. The long term is enlightenment, and again, there's no time frame on enlightenment, but people like me, you have to give your mind a time frame, some kind of rules to follow so that it will behave properly. So this video is longer than I intended. I'm sorry about that. It's 27 minutes. I hope you learned something. If you haven't, I apologize, but thank you for watching anyway. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm very happy to answer them. Hopefully you learn now how to meditate, and if you want to know the exact details on my meditation and my breatharian exercises, let me know. I am not afraid to tell you, and if I get in trouble, I will delete them, but at least you'll be able to know before that happens. So, thanks again for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. You know I will. Goodbye.